Howdy y'all, welcome back to the channel. In fact, welcome to the new shop. This is where I'm gonna be storing my boat from here on out. So let's take a real quick tour before we start building, I guess my little tackle bench, work desk, storage space, all that good stuff. So we're gonna take a quick tour real quick. I'm gonna flip y'all around. There we go. So obviously we have the boat up here. Oh, that's really bright. So let's cut that on back. There we go. Boat's in here. There we go. Got a gate to the side. A little coyote. 16-foot door, 10 foot tall. Super easy to get into. Got a man door right here. Garage door switch. Inside lights. We've got two outside lights. Plenty of plugs. We're going to scoot on around here. Got a roll-up door here leading into the backyard. The yard is getting better. We are still working on getting the grass to come in really well. Let's see. There we go. Got a lean-to here with some party lights going on. And then right over here, got a little seating area underneath the lean-to. We're here in the shade. Get you a quick view of the shop here. All right, so that's my new shop. Got lots of space and building areas and things to do. Right over here, where the cart and my saw are, that's exactly where my new 8-foot bench is gonna go. Let me show you guys the top. Maybe we saw it already. Maybe you saw it already, I don't know. But it is a butcher block top. We're going to make the top out of butcher block. We're going to just leave it the way it is. We're going to put some polyurethane on it. Oh, I forgot to show you guys the shelves for some storage space. Base is going to be made out of 2x4. I'm going to saw these to the correct lengths and all that good stuff. We'll talk about the process here in a minute. And here's the backing, the pegboard. We're going to paint this a nice black to give it a nice pop of contrast versus, well, the white insulation and paint that we have on the walls here. The bench itself is going to start in the corner over there, and then we're going to move all the way 8 foot out, which is roughly somewhere in there. It's going to be about 3 foot tall. But I'm going to talk to you guys about the process. So now that we have the kind of the shop introduction stuff taken care of, kind of showed you what I want to do as far as the bench. If you didn't get that, I mean, it's going to be a simple desk design, and behind it attached is going to be a pegboard. Paint all the, I guess, the base stuff black, and then the top is butcher block, extremely strong. We're going to leave that its natural color and just do polyurethane on it. But I have a saw, I got a thickness planer, I got some pocket hole joinery stuff that I'm going to do. We're going to make these boards look crisp like I did my desk, where the corners are nice and sharp. Make it look really good. Paint the base and the pegboard black with that really nice pop of contrast for the natural colored birch butcher block. Wow, that's really hard to say. But anyways, that's what we're going to do. So first, what I'm going to do is cut everything to size that I need. So that's why I've got my saw on my little cart there. We're going to do all my cutting outside so I don't have to clean up all the sawdust. So going to cut all the pieces to size, so don't have to worry about that. Next, I either will use my thickness planer and shave off some of the edges, which is probably what I'll end up doing, or use my table saw and just rip down the edges to make the corners sharp. If you don't know, let's see, I have a 2x4 somewhere. Here we go. It's actually a 2x3. Here's a 2x3, and traditionally the edges are not sharp. They have this slight round to them. Let's see, let's get that in focus here. Yeah, you can kind of see the roundness to them. This one's been sharpened on one side, but I use these as chalks for my trailer. So we're gonna make the edges nice and crisp, and then we're gonna do the pocket hole joinery. I'll start doing pocket holes and everything and start attaching and putting things together. Overall, not a hard process, but it is time consuming, and we'll probably do a time lapse of some kind over some of the process. So y'all bear with me, and we're just gonna start doing time lapse stuff, and y'all get to see the final product here in a few minutes, hopefully. So earlier I mentioned thickness planer, and many of you may not know what a thickness planer is. This is a thickness planer. It has a barrel-shaped blade, has 3 big blades on it, and it's designed to cut wood to certain thicknesses, hence the name thickness planer. I am going to cut my wood to 1.25 inches deep by 3 1/8 wide, and that should give me sharp corners to work with and precise distances to deal with as well by my little hand-drawn drawing, my plans, if you will. I don't know if you call them plans when they're kind of chicken scratch, but anyways, thickness planing throws out a lot of chips, hence why I have my vacuum attached to it. And man, that's all it is to it. You guys will see, I'll just kind of feed it through. It feeds automatically through. I'll walk it through, and then I'll catch it on the other side, and then I will put it up against the barn here, and we'll do alternating sides. That way each side gets cut evenly, and then we'll do the other end, the other edge. We'll do the thinner edge, and then we'll do the thicker edge, and that's all we got to do as far as thickness planing. So hopefully you guys enjoy the time lapse. So some storms were blowing up on me last night, and I just didn't really want to get involved in all that. So I finished my planing and kind of put everything away. And we're here to the next day, and I want to go ahead and start putting some things together. So one of the main things I like to do is to use pocket hole joinery. If you don't know what pocket hole joinery is, it is so that you can attach boards from their ends. So I would drill 2 pocket holes here, and then use those pocket holes to screw into another piece of wood at a 90-degree angle. And this creates nice, tight fitting joints, and they're extremely strong. You don't really even need glue because these joints are extremely strong. I like to use a Craig jig kit here to drill my holes. Pretty simple use here. You take it and you set this dial here, you raise it to the thickness of wood that you're going to use. You have a drill bit here, special drill bit with a tip designed to allow you to start your screws real easy. You adjust the stopper based upon on this kit here to the correct thickness of wood that you're attaching with, with is the correct word. And you adjust it. Once these 2 are adjusted, you put your wood in the clamp, make sure it's even and straight, and then you drill your holes using the tool. drill a hole here and drill a hole here, and that will be plenty strong for this bench project. So I got a bunch to make, so instead of wasting your time on each individual one, I'm just going to give you guys a quick time lapse, and we're going to whip these things out pretty fast, and then we're going to start assembling. So if I start assembling while we're in the time lapse phase, all I'm going to do is put together the two ends, the two main legs, the left leg and the right leg, which has two legs on each of that. And then I'll be working on attaching the back side, and then I'll have a joint across the top as well. You guys will see that here, hopefully in a few seconds. So, hold on, and we'll continue this project. So here is the basic frame. All of this is going to be painted black, just like the refrigerator over there. Well, refrigerator's made black. We're going to be painting this black. And then we're going to have on top a butcher block, just polyed. I think I've already showed you guys that earlier in the video. But this is it. This is what I had envisioned. A 8-foot desk, bench, work area, studio, all of the above, place to store tackle, place to work, a place to talk to you guys. So paint this black, awesome butcher block, just straight up polyurethane. I think during the time lapse y'all may have missed one little thing, and that was me adjusting this space. This board was bowed, didn't even cross my mind. But I made the space from the bottom of this pegboard to the top of that the same as these other two. And I used a 2x4 spacer, which is exactly 1.5, plus this little cardboard that came with the butcher block. Put that on top for an additional 1/16 of an inch space. So my board should slide under there, my butcher block should slide right under there just perfectly. But man, next up is the cleanup. Tomorrow, hopefully I can convince the wife here to help me paint this ginormous thing. I got to do some sweeping, get some of this wood chips up from drilling all those pocket holes, but she's pretty sturdy. She'll get a little sturdier once we put the butcher block on. The weight distribution will be a little better. Right now she's a little back heavy, but that butcher block's 90 pounds, so I don't think this thing's going anywhere once I get it all assembled. But hey, tomorrow, hopefully we can do a time lapse of me and my wife painting this thing, and it shouldn't take all that long, I don't think. So paint the whole thing black. Have some contrast against the white wall here. So y'all hold on. Maybe tomorrow I'll be painting. All right, guys, so first of all, I owe you an apology. I did not get any time lapse or any takes between painting and finishing up the butcher block, but I'll kind of tell you how it went. It went really well. My wife and I just kind of trucked through it. The painting took 2 coats, and you can tell how well it looks. This looks really, really great. I'm actually really impressed with the way this turned out. And I have some light shining on it, and what I'm really liking is in the camera view here, you're not getting a whole lot of reflectance back at you. That's why I chose a ultra flat color and black, which absorbs a lot of light. So it's a really great backdrop for videos that, hey, I want to talk to you guys and show you something. Really great for that. It's also a pegboard, so we can hang up, our shimmer shads and our plasma tails, our thick jigs, all of our baits. We can hang them up, display them out for you guys to look at. And then whenever I need a spare or two to throw in the boat, I'll just grab them and throw them in the boat, which is right behind you. I'll just do one of these numbers. Yeah, that didn't make it to the boat. That was really short because I have a really weak arm. But anyways, getting a little off topic here. Finished the butcher block off with some polyurethane, sanded it between coats with some 220, and then on the final one I did 220 and then a 400 grit sandpaper. So this guy is really smooth, really well protected, really impressed with the way the butcher block turned out. I don't know if I told you guys, but originally I was going to do a corner desk and make it a corner and have you guys look at me in a corner. Kind of decided against that once I found this butcher block that was really, really nice. So I really like the idea that my wife gave me. I want to give her credit for that. So before I sign off here, I want to ask y'all's opinion, not only of this project, but what do you think about me doing videos like this? Do you like these kind of videos? Do you enjoy them? Do you want to see more of them? I'm kind of experimenting all over the channel, but hey, this is fishing related because this is where our fishing stuff is going to be happening. So just let me know in the comments below. But just like always, until next time, get out there and go catch you some fish.